Hi, this is Majinoni, and here is some reviews for you today. We're going to finish off some of the Brightest Day story outlines. Brightest Day number 24. Brightest Day, Justice League Generation Lost 24, and Green Arrow number 11. We'll do Green Arrow number 11 first. This issue here had me at I guess you could say it's at a crossroads, so to speak. There's a lot of good fighting, which I appreciate that. There's some good artwork. I can appreciate that. It looks like there's a lot of chaos going on, which I can imagine being the case, with all these creatures here and then the heroes fighting. But I feel that it's missing something. I don't know what that something is. I guess, like, when you look at this issue here and this issue here, which I'll go over later, it's like they're there, but they're not there at the same time. I mean, what I mean is, like, I understand that everything's all connected together, but they're not all in the same place. But it just seems that, like, parts of the story isn't connected well enough, and I think in this case it's hurting it a little bit. Now, I know there's going to be another issue talking about the aftermath of this, and I think that's what's going to make me feel a lot better about this issue here. I think another problem I have with it is the demon and his betrayal. I don't like the fact how Jason Blood and the Etron separated. I realized that at first I was like, why is he here in the first place? But I'm sure it's the Force that called him over here anyways. I think another problem I had was this final battle here between the wooded demon form and Green Arrow and his white light arrows. Now, I understand this is purely my fault, and I accept, my limitations on this, and how I cannot think that this is a great battle. And that is basically, like, when you read a lot of manga, this battle here would actually have taken a few more pages, and the final blows here would have just been simply amazing. You would have seen, like, Ollie, beaten to near death, and then have him get on his knees like he is here type thing, and then have him gain a power level or two, and then really unleash a lot of energy onto the final boss. And I think, like I said, this is just me. You guys have lower standards, so this is probably acceptable to you, but I'm used to something a little bit better, and I think that's why I'm a little bit at a loss. That's why I think it's a hollow good issue, I guess you could say, because I know it's missing something. I realize it could be better, but it is tying up everything, and everything's making a little bit of sense. So for that matter, I'm glad I've read it so far. Okay, next up is Brightest Day, Generation Lost. This is another one that this to me is a mixed bag. I like the art, I like the direction everything was going, especially this final battle here with Wonder Woman in the Justice League with the OMAC Prime. I really don't like the OMAC Prime. To me, this guy is just a combination of a Sentinel with Super Adaptoid, and for that matter, that's why I'm just like, I just don't like this character, I guess you could say, as a villain. But anyways, the battle part here is good. I love the battle between Booster and Max. That part was great. And the one thing that I did find kind of amusing is it's like Captain Atom is probably, the Justice League's most powerful hero. But what he does is he runs in, absorbs energy, and then he runs off to space to dissipate it. And I find it really just hilarious that he's always constantly doing that. And he does this a couple times in this issue here. I guess you can say they beat Max, but Max ultimately wins in the end. But it's not a perfect victory for Max. It's a victory with he reached it, but he didn't reach all of his victory conditions. But at the same time, the Justice League did reach a couple of their objectives. And I think part of my problem, I don't want to say this is my problem, because it's really not. See, the thing is, Max's whole purpose was basically to prevent the superhero war that was going to happen, and that was with Magog, and then Magog was going to eventually unleash Kingdom Come. Now, for Kingdom Come is probably one of the greatest DC stories ever written, and it was a glimpse of the future type thing. And DC's has been hinting, maybe that's the future, maybe it's just an alternate reality, maybe it's an Elseworlds title, you never quite know. And I think by killing it, they've ruined a lot of mystery, a lot of anticipation. Now, after this issue here, everybody knows, or actually after this series, everybody knows that Kingdom Come will never happen. And so I guess you can say it's kind of like this. DC Comics has the most tastiest ice cream cone. And then they tell you, well, maybe you can get this ice cream cone if you read all these comic books, and you buy all these miniseries, and buy all these spin-offs. But maybe not, because that might not be the ice cream cone that you're looking for. And then sometime, throughout as you're reading, DC says, you know what? This ice cream cone never existed. It will never exist now. And then now you're left going, but I want my payoff. I want my reward. And now it's gone forever. So that part leaves me really sad about the events that happen here. I understand the importance of it, and I don't want to lessen that impact, because they actually did some things that were really good about that. They finally did address Kingdom Come, but it just seems, like I said, that they took something special away from me as a fan, and I'm really sad about that part. It's not even the fact that I even want Kingdom Come to happen. It's just I always wanted the possibility that it was going to happen, and now it's gone. That's this issue. And Brightest Day number 24. This one, This one is right now, like I said, it's an enigma to me right now. Depending upon what they do, this could actually be one of the most amazing endings possible. For a series. On the other hand, it could be something that they're going to drop the boat on, and that's what I'm afraid of. Now, you have here basically. The evil Swamp Thing basically is Necron's energy that's still on Earth. And while that's going on, you have the DC hero, Alec Holland, is basically resurrected. The problem is Alex Holland doesn't realize who he is. He doesn't realize that he's the Swamp Thing. So what you need to do is you need to get something to spark that, spark his rebirth, and make, and this is what that throw the boomerang deal is about. Now you have, out of nowhere, Captain Boomerang just suddenly appears, and he's told to throw the boomerang, and he basically goes okay. Now Hank Hawk basically fails, because as you can see, the boomerang just slices right through his hand. But Deadman jumps in the way and saves stuff. And basically what was supposed to happen was Hawk was supposed to jump in front of the boomerang and get hit by it. And then that was the sacrifice that was needed to make Alec Holland become alive. Unfortunately for Dove and Deadman, he jumped in front of it, and his life force is what sparked it, the rebirth. Now, this is everything from then on was kind of cool because you had the battle between Swamp Thing versus evil Swamp Thing. You have a good understanding of now. If you didn't know who Swamp Thing is, they basically told you the entire origin. They said this is who Alec is, and this is his Swamp Thing's importance. And the battle was pretty cool. Great full page, or bigger panels. Then we had the rebirth of the elementals, and I really feel bad for Hawkman because Hawkgirl didn't make it out through there. But this potentially, with his loss, that could potentially be a nice story. Story launch from that. And basically what happens is the Swamp Thing basically reinvented it, makes the Earth green again, and he basically in another way of putting it, he basically gives Earth back its life force in a way. Now, then they go on to explain the other three missing people that we haven't seen in this issue: the Maxwell Lord, Jay, and what's his name? Osiris. And they explain the importance to those three things. I think it would have been nice is if they put a little blurb here, like saying, like Brightest Day, Justice League, and Titans. Just so this way, if you didn't know where to find this, at least now you can go back and look for those issues. Now, I'm going to be going into some spoiler territory now. So if spoilers are your worry, then you might want to stop. I think what they've done here at the end part was also really good because not only do they give you a Hawk springboard, I'm sorry, not a Hawk, a Hawkman springboard storyline. They actually now are giving Aquaman some direction, and they really did. I think this one page here with Martian Manhunter was really good. It's like like with the Martian Manhunter, with everything that was going on with him prior, from Final Crisis to this thing. To me, he seemed like a lost type character. He lost his way, and now he's back. It looks like he's now at peace with himself, and now we're going to actually get the Martian Manhunter that we know and love. Now, this is the part. Oh, then they give you a Firestorm situation that's coming up, and this is the part that kind of excites me but worries me at the same time. In the past, DC Comics basically said, this is DC superhero universe, this is Vertigo universe. What they did here was they now put Swamp Thing in DC superhero universe. And what I thought was really cool was the fact that he's like, these people here were responsible for the oil spill, and they have other shenanigans in the works. And Swamp Thing basically goes, you know what? There's consequences. There are always consequences. And I so wish that there really was a Swamp Thing to really take care of people like this. Now, I won't even switch to the last page, but I think people will automatically know who this person is. And that's why it also has me worried, because they're bringing in this person now into DC superhero universe. And I don't like that. I don't like that mix whatsoever. I think these characters should stay Vertigo because of the type of stories that they're telling. You need a certain level of maturity, you need a certain level of writing ability, and you should never cross those. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's my review for these three books here. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. I'm really curious to know what you guys think overall of the Brightest Day. And more reviews later, so until next time.